everybody, and welcome back to Stay Plugged In. My name is Sheridan, and today I am here with Bearlight and Kai, or Cosmic Flippy, a Rocket League player from Columbia College, former Stay Plugged In video editor intern, and the first ever Stay Plugged In recruit. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. If you could introduce yourself, your name, gamer tag, major, year in school, and then talk about how you kind of came into college esports.
Yeah, so my name is Kai. I go by Cosmic Flippy, and I'm a major in cybersecurity. I'm currently going into my junior year of college, and I originally got into collegiate esports through, Stay Plugged In. I, as she said, did an internship with them through video editing, and they were able to connect me with the college that I'm at now, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long have you been playing Rocket League for?
I've been playing Rocket League since 2015.
Awesome. As far as, your experience here in the game for Rocket League, Kai, I did want to ask, what was it about Rocket League that attracted you and got you into the game in the first place?
I think I got so enveloped in the Rocket League mainly because it's a game, like it's its own unique game, right? You can't bring skills you have from other games into this one and be able to use them to get like a much better advantage. So it's a lot harder, I think, to get much better at in Rocket League than other games, and I think that's why it was such an attention grabber from me and why I loved it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And how would you say that the CRL season went as a whole for your team?
I think this last season went still as good as it could have. We came out in first place. We would have liked to go undefeated. I feel like, as always, but we got first place in the season. Not as good in nationals as we would have liked, but I think we made up for it when we went over to Worlds.
100%. I think you all, Columbia specifically, has definitely put the Western Conference of CRL on the map for sure. So you've been doing a great job over there. I think you've been a really strong addition as well. I do have to ask, it is your second CRL World. So how was your second Worlds? What was that experience like, and kind of compare it to the first time around as well?
Yeah, so the second time around was, I think, a lot less nerves, gameplay-wise, than the first one. The first one, the very first time we went on stage, and the final day was on Sunday. Both times we made Sunday. The first time we went on stage on Sunday, the nerves got to us really bad. We got knocked out of the first round that day to Stockton. And this year around, we went in, and we ended up playing Stockton in our group stages, so before we were on stage. And we came out and we swept them. And I think that was a huge morale booster for us going into that weekend because, being able to sweep the team that knocked you out last year is huge. So, yeah, I mean, just that gameplay-wise was the same, or it was a little different because the nerves and stuff, but just the people, man. Being able to meet all these players in person is just an absolutely different experience. First year, second year, both years I've been blessed to be able to come, hang out with everybody, have a great time, and just, getting to know everybody has been awesome.
Did you ever envision, like when you first started playing Rocket League, that you would go on to play on the world stage of collegiate Rocket League? Like that must, like, how do you feel about that whole thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I started out Rocket League barely knowing how to hit the ball and flip sideways. So being able to be in this position that I'm in and play, like you said, on a world stage in front of tons of people, getting to meet all these amazing people, it's just absolutely surreal to me still.
Yeah, I remember back when you were in the Stay Plugged In days, you were still side flipping, doing crazy things. I got to cast a little bit of that. I'm just kidding. You were always pretty solid, I would argue. Also, I got to know you because you, like we mentioned earlier in this podcast, you were part of the Stay Plugged In internship program. I know you put together some pretty awesome video editing, or videos in general through your editing. So talk a little bit about your experience with us as well.
Yeah, so my experience working at Stay Plugged In was amazing. I had my little cubicle in in our offices, and I loved editing those videos because I would edit some videos I would edit some videos that included interviews with coaches and their players and getting to get this insight on each player and each coach and seeing what they're like really looking for when it comes to a recruit. I think that helped me definitely learn what colleges want more from recruits, because it's not just about, your gameplay in Rocket League, because that's a huge aspect, of course, but it's about those intangibles that come outside of it, like leadership skills, like video editing, which I had, and being able to move that on to college and help that college out with those certain aspects of it as well. I think these are all just really important things that aren't brought out as much as gameplay. So
Absolutely.
my experience at Stay Plugged In was awesome.
Yeah, and like getting that experience of like being able to talk to coaches, you probably were able to set yourself apart and like really learn what coaches are looking for. And I feel like that's an experience that many others may not learn initially, but something important to learn for all recruits. But let's talk about your recruitment story as a whole, like from start to finish, video editor intern to playing on the world stage at CRL. What was that like?
So it started with the video internship. So I got to see the behind the scenes between all the coaches, the players, and all of that. And but I still had my own like separate kind of recruitment process as far as coaches reaching out to me, and me talking with them. I visited 3 different colleges, one in Michigan, one in Columbia, and I can't remember the third one. But yeah, I mean, when I went to Columbia College, and when I heard this before I did it, I didn't understand it. But once you visit that college and you get a feeling about it. Just everything is just right, everything is perfect, and I got that exact feeling from Columbia College. So I went there. I'm as happy as ever that I'm glad I went there. As far as going to Worlds, we started out with a different roster than we have now, slightly different. And we nonstop are working really hard to just because we know we're at the top of the West, but that's not enough. We want to be number one in the world. We want to be number one nationally. We want to stay number one in the West. We never take it for granted what we have, so we're always grinding, always playing, and just being able to play on a world stage is absolutely surreal still. Being able to meet all these people and play our game.
And
It
how
sounds
did it
like
feel?
setting goals and breaking those, breaking records is something that Columbia seems to really find and do well with. What are some other qualities about Columbia's esports program specifically that's really attracted you to go there in the first place? And tell us a little bit about your experience with the program already.
Yeah, so our program has currently, I want to say, 3 or 4 different games, and we're continually expanding it. I think there's some plans in the work to make our esports program really big in the next coming years. Um, but as far as what brought me in was the coach mainly is his aspiration for what he wanted our teams to be. He wanted us to be the best. When we first came in, we didn't expect to be the best. We expected maybe top 6 is what we were hoping for, and I think we came out number 1 the West first season we came out, or number 2, which was absolutely huge for us. And our coach is always just pushing us that one step further. Hey, you guys got number 1. It's not over yet. Keep pushing, keep going, and he keeps us on our grind, our mentality. He keeps it up. So we're always looking to improve, and I saw that in him when he was recruiting me, is trying to make us always improve, and that's what really latched me in.
Yeah, and I feel like we can really see that in the team's performance, like taking that win over Northwood in the fall. What was that like? How did that feel?
It was good for our team when they made it. I was I was subbed out for that series, so I was happy to see the boys made it. Being subbed out, it sucks, but them going on to win it all, to prove that the West can be we can be a better team than some of the East teams. It really proved that the West is not just the West, because everybody knows that the East is supposed to be a lot better than the West, and overall, I say they probably are. But I think us being that one outlier, being able to be the team that can upset these huge teams in the East, is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, going undefeated through league play as well. Just really seeing how your team has evolved has been really awesome, especially in the West. What would you say has been your favorite memory from your time at Columbia?
It's tough to think about. I mean,
That's okay.
the biggest thing I can think of is probably like just going to Worlds, being able to have that experience with the guys that you've spent all year playing with and hanging out with, and just being able to meet everybody with them is a blast.
Yeah, and you have 2 more worlds to go, right? Gonna make the last 2 for the
Yeah,
last few years, right?
that's the dream.
Absolutely. What would you say that you've learned about college esports, learned from your experience in college esports, whether that's being on a team, working with different personalities, scheduling, time management, anything like that?
Yeah, so time management was a big one first coming in. That first semester when you come in is a little rocky because you have to get used to your classes, you have to get used to how much time you can spend on the video game, and then you have to be able to balance spending time on the game and then like socializing and being able to do things outside of the video game that you might not do as much in high school. So being able to time manage was a big one first coming in, and then like you said with the personalities are all over the place. You meet people from way different places, especially me going from North Carolina all the way out to Missouri. The people are a lot different, kind of, but yeah, it's just an overall a lot different experience, and you have to kind of adapt to it. But it's a great time.
Yeah, it's one of the many hurdles that come along with college for sure. Talking about CRL or just generally in your time in college, what's one of the biggest hurdles that you've had to overcome?
So I think the biggest hurdle that I personally have had to overcome so far was being subbed out for our nationals. So I played throughout the whole league season. I believe we either went undefeated or like lost 2 matches, but either way we came first in the West. And the night before, our coach ended up subbing me for nationals, and that was huge hit to like my ego, my just everything that was going on. So I wasn't very happy with it at the time at all. But then the CR team go and win it, and us win a national championship was absolutely amazing because I had to sub out for it, but to see my team succeed, to see us still on top of that podium, was absolutely amazing. It was totally worth being benched. I'm okay with being benched if it means our team's still going to play amazing. I'm there to support our team 24/7. So yeah, that was probably the biggest hurdle that I had to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like, what advice would you give to students who maybe want to pursue college esports, whether that's as a player like you or maybe through some other realms like social media, anything like that?
I'd say the biggest tip that I would give to people who are coming into collegiate esports is don't pick a college just for the game, right? So yes, having great teammates, being able to go to college for all that, being able to win is awesome, but there's so much more to college than just winning in esports, right? There's meeting a ton of new people, it's being there with the friends that you like, having teammates that you can be with in person and have a great time with, and just it's a lot more than just the video game aspect. While the video game aspect is very important, it's a lot more, and just focus on a lot of the other things in college than just the video game.
And sticking around the same lines, what advice would you give to parents on approaching, sorry, we'll restart that one. So what advice would you give to students on approaching parents about college esports?
So I know back in my time with Spin, some parents were reluctant to let their kids, go to college for video games because it's still new. It's still, we've just touched the surface of what I think collegiate esports will become. And approaching your parents with a subject like that is tough because, they're always telling you, get off the game, go do something else. But you really have to explain to them what you're gaining from this opportunity. And it's, the ability to go to college on, say, scholarship or go to a college you want, but for something you love to do. This is your passion. It's something you've grown up with, It's your dream, pretty much. So being able to explain to your parent that that's your dream and you get to go to college for it is, amazing.
Were your parents a little hesitant about the topic? About you
So
going to
my
college?
parents, when I grew up, they were very like, don't spend too much time on the game, don't do all of that. But once I started working with Spin, I took them through it, I walked them through, and I was like, hey, I can go to this college and I can get paid and I can play video games and do my dream. And they're 100% supportive, and I'm very thankful for that.
And so at the first Worlds that you went to as well, T-Bates called you. He told us that you were carrying the content for CRL all season long. What would you like to say to T-Bates regarding that?
I'd like to say I hope I can keep it going. I haven't got to do as many interviews this past CRL season, but I love doing interviews. I love being content. I love being on the main stage, so I hope I can keep doing it.
I love that. What's next for you for your next 2 years at Columbia?
My next 2 years are going to be getting into my major classes finally, which I'm very excited about. Hopefully being able to go undefeated in West. I heard there's a couple West teams that might be coming up that are scary though, so we got a lot of work to do still, and hopefully, play better nationals and win worlds.
Absolutely. And then last question, what do you see as your future? Do you want to go into esports after this? Are you going to take a more traditional career path? What's next for your future in that aspect?
My plan as of right now, I don't plan to go after college into Rocket League professionally. I don't plan to do any of that. I plan to go into my major, cybersecurity. I absolutely love my major, so I'd be very excited to do that. If an opportunity presents itself, I would be completely fine with going into esports and pursuing that. But I'm focused on finishing my degree right now and getting that done. And if the opportunity presents itself, I'll pursue esports.
So where can we
Sweet.
find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CosmicFlippy, and that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Join us for the online Stay Plugged In showcase featuring Rocket League and Overwatch on June 24th and Valorant and League of Legends on July 15th. That's all we have today for SPINcast, and we'll see you in the next one.